Hello and welcome. So about a little more than a month ago, I've decided to try out Vim. And switching over from VS Code, I saw some people doing some cool stuff with Vim, and I've decided to try it out for myself. And I was very skeptical about it, but I kept going for like a few days. Eventually, I uploaded a video about it and tried to understand the whole fuss around Vim and why people like it so much. So I just kept going for about a month and really just working regularly on my software as a developer, just using Vim instead of VS Code. So after a month, I must say this is an incredible piece of software. And it got me to the point of thinking, why not all of the other text editors out there are like Vim? It seems like Vim has a very nice approach and philosophy towards text editing. I thought that I'm going to experience an exponential learning curve, so meaning that you're starting like very slowly, struggling to understand everything, it's really hard. Everything is like, really hard to understand until you reach to like this point that you just shoot up to the sky and become like a Vim wizard. But actually, the experience, the learning curve that I experienced is actually the opposite. It's a logarithmic kind of learning curve. So you get the hang of it pretty quickly, like a week or two. You just get the hang of it. You're starting to get used to it. You understand all the principles and the general stuff, and then you just slowly getting better and better, and learning some new stuff along the way, new tricks to improve your productivity, and really just a very good experience. So in this video I want to show you some of the cool stuff that I learned along the way and some of the cool stuff that I do to improve my productivity as a developer. Really, there are just so many things, but I try to keep it simple and to pick the things that I like the most. And let me show you. So I'm gonna open up just a test JavaScript test file, and I'm gonna do everything in JavaScript because JavaScript is like my main language these days. First thing is, when I write a function, I have this surrounding plugin which allows me to just put a parenthesis and just put the close the parenthesis and put the cursor in between, just like any other IDEs. This is something that you'll find in a lot of IDEs. But when I reach to this point, I realize that I don't want to go all the way to the arrow keys, because I want to keep my hands on on the letters. So I wanted a combination that will allow me to escape these parentheses and go further. So I can do like JL and I can keep going, okay? And that's it. JJ will do go to normal mode, so it's the same as pressing escape. Okay, so let's just save it. So O and enter will just go to a new line. So let's just write another function. I'm gonna write a function for a range similar to the Python functions, or just like the JavaScript implementation of this. So let's just do this. Cool. So another cool thing that I have is whenever I write, like let's start with, let's say, a function like this, okay? And then I'm writing these curly braces. Now, in most cases, like 100% of the time when I'm using curly braces, I want to write a body inside these curly braces, right? I want to write some code inside these curly braces. Now, and this is applicable for like maybe like all of the C-type languages, right? So I probably want to do something like this, okay? I want to go to this point where I'm splitting the curly braces apart and just putting a line between them, just ready to code. So really, let's just do this. So I just wanted a combination, HL in this case, that will just bring me to this place immediately, okay, without like using too many keystrokes. Okay, so return like this. Cool. So what else? Relative line numbers. This is incredibly efficient. So this is way better than absolute line numbers, and I really don't understand why this is not the default in other IDEs, because really in most cases when you have to navigate in your code, you want to navigate in relative line numbers, because let's say I'm here right now, I'm on line 3, and I want to go to this return bar thing, so I can see that this is like 3 lines below the line that I'm currently on it, so I can just jump 3 lines down to this return bar. Let's say I want to go to like the second to the line below this const add, and I see that these are like 4 lines above me, so I can do like 4 and jump above. So this is very, very comfortable. And really, you need absolute line numbers only when you are debugging and you're seeing like a log, and you see like something like there's a problem in line 4, for example. And even when you see something like that, you can still work with absolute lines. So you can still do like commas and simply just write 4 if you want to go to line 4. Another thing that I really like about the navigation in Vim is using the search, because you can quickly reach everything in the code. So you don't have to use your mouse, you don't have to use anything. So you can, let's say I want to go to this fill function. So fill, that's all. Okay, I just write the name of the function, start writing it. I don't even need to write the entire name. Okay, it will find it for me. Or let's say I want to go to this foo. So there you go. I'm going like this. Okay, and there's so many good things in Vim, like substitution when you need to change something. So, but I'm not gonna cover all of Vim, of course. I'm just gonna cover some of the things that I feel like serve me best as a developer, and maybe you'll find it also very efficient as a developer. So. Another thing that I really, really love about Vim is using these kind of macros. So you can record an action and just call this action whenever you need it. So let's say I want an action that turns these const. Okay, so we have these const here, right? And I want an action that can turn this to a module.export. Okay, so I can press like Q and maybe A to start recording. So as you can see, down in the down left in the screen, you'll see like this recording on the letter A, and I can start doing all the things that I want to record. So I can, like, let's say maybe start by going to the start of the line and change the inner word and say export. Okay. And maybe a dot and go to normal mode and maybe something like this. Okay, and now you can press Q again, and basically now I've just recorded an action, like a complex action that I can do whenever I want to change a const to a module export. So let's say I want I'll go like 2 lines below, and I want to change this const range to module export.range. So all I can do is like just do at and the letter that I recorded on. Okay, so at A, and that's it. And this is incredibly efficient. This is really, really good. I just love this. Okay, so I want to talk about some IDE stuff. So for that, I'm just going to one of my projects, like a service registry that I'm working on, and I want to show you some like my IDE setups, and just to show you that really nothing is missing here. So there's really just everything that you need for developing whatever you want. So Tmux, of course, is a really good thing. I already covered it in the last video. So this will allow you to open different windows within the same session, and you can actually also open like panes inside of a window. So for example, this is like the first window, and I can also rename it. Let's call it like dev. And I can also open like a new window. And by the way, if you're using Tmux, I actually changed the Control B prefix to Control S because I feel like it's just more natural. So let's just change this to like maybe server. Okay, and then I can move between them, and I can open up NeoVim like this. And this is the nerd tree, so I can have like this tree view. And honestly, I just rarely use it. Like I barely, you know, sometimes I reached for this tree, but most of the time I just used a fuzzy finder, Control P. Let's say I want to go like to this route. So with Tmux, I can open up this. Okay, oops. And now I can do stuff like I have just a separate terminal within the same window, so I can like maybe like git log and do some, you know, some git related stuff and stuff that just I want to do outside of NeoVim. And I also remap Tmux to work with the arrow keys of Vim. So basically, I can go up like this. So in Vim or NeoVim, you can also open up another buffer like this, and you'll have like different views. And I don't use it a lot. I usually, when I'm working on a file, I'm working just on a single file. But sometimes, occasionally, when I have like two related files like that are really just very related, maybe then I will work with two separate views like this. But you can do it, and it's cool. So let's just close this up. So what about debugging? So I feel like in IDEs, one of the best things that IDEs can give you is the ability to launch a debugger directly from the IDE. Okay, so you have like this adapter, and you can actually launch this debugger directly. So you can actually do it in NeoVim and Vim with a plugin called Vim Spectre. So if you launch it, I just did something like this. Now it will tell me that it's unable to find a debug configuration because Vim Spectre needs like a Vim Spectre file. So I actually wrote an npm package to make these files very quickly. So I can run like npx Vim Spectre config, okay, -- setup, and I want like an express setup, okay, and there you go. So this actually made this .vimspectre.json, and also it put it inside a git ignore. So this is what my npm package is doing. So now I can go like to the second screen and maybe run an inspected version of node. So node inspect, and this is the file here is in service, okay, and I can get this ID. Okay, and I could go back here and here, and now I'm gonna run. I can run the debugger. Okay, just putting this ID, and there we go. So now I have a debugger here, and I can actually use it. So let's try to use this debugger. So for example, let's say I want like this return. No, I want to create a breakpoint here. So I'm just going to create a breakpoint here. And if I will use Postman to do this and go here, there you go. So we have a working debugger, and everything is working correctly. So I can see like all the stuff, you know, all the scope of this function. I can keep going, and this will actually work, and I can end this debugger. So that's all. I think that I'm just going to keep using NeoVim because this is incredible. It just made my work much faster and more efficient, and I feel like it's a much faster and easier learning curve, you know, than what I expected. And thank you for watching. If you like this video, please subscribe for more, and see you next time. Bye bye.